The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Dave Rose sucks. It's boring.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Ignore that freak who was just speaking. I am Devious Dave Rose, and I will forever be much more relevant than Tommy C ever will be. Thank you so much for joining this random stream hangout. As always, let's start the show off by showing our gratitude and appreciation for all those that have chosen to spend their time with us here today. We've got Z the Reaper, the man with two first names, Steve Callan, Tiff, It's the Costanza J, Diz, Chad, Yig, and I'm sure a few more are lurking in the shadows, but we'll see them show themselves soon enough. I know that there were many out there who are watching YR stream with bated breath and anticipation, and unfortunately that got called to an end quite quickly due to whatever reason. And as always, YR decides to just end the call or leave the call without telling me and Keith. So YR, you're on real thin ice now, real thin ice. And we're gonna have to talk about who's got a wrench in your chats there, because some of us in the council have some great concerns, and we meet on the regular with robes in a dark room with candles. So you got to be very careful, because the Council of the Strong Arm is a worldwide known organization, and you kill one of us, two more pop up. We're even more powerful than Hydra and Spectre combined. So yeah, it's Friday night, baby. And I'm fucking exhausted because of the fucking stupidity I had to deal with today. Oh my God. I mean, today I experienced some of the, biggest displays of lack of professionalism that I've ever seen in the IT world. And it's just, the problem is that there's a big portion of people in IT that are just like that. But there's never an excuse for this shit. It's just so fucking bullshit. And, just having to deal with that level of stupidity is exhausting. And, I will, like I said, regale you guys at some point with horror stories that I've encountered working in tech support. But just the lack of professionalism, the lack of care. And, I think this just goes, when it's a lack of professionalism, I think it's more of a lack of self-respect. And just, it sort of shakes your faith in humanity. And it's, it could definitely take the wind out of your sails, because it's just like, you shouldn't even have to comprehend such a possibility of someone being so stupid, so unprofessional, so uncaring. But yeah, just one of those days. And it's dipped down to almost freezing levels here in Ontario, which is crazy. So the temperature dropped dramatically. So it's fucking freezing tonight today, and it's rainy and cold. But I am saving my energy, because tonight, in 5 hours, we will be having Friday Night Fire. And it's going to be good. I've been working on something since yesterday and today, and my brain is about to fall out of my head, because you guys obviously know this, the rule and stuff. If you're going to do things right, do it the Dave Rose way, because it's the right way the first time around, and it's done to a high level of standard that just can't be met, can't be met, can't be matched. And I look forward to the criticisms that might come. Regardless, I think that you will think that the contribution that I have planned, or at least one of them for tonight, will be an enjoyable one, an entertaining one, and one that will. I don't want to give away too much, but essentially will create an additional reason to tune in and to call in to the Friday Night Fire Show. So, I want to leave this more for tonight to announce what it is. But again, I've put in a lot of work into this. I think that you're going to see a clear difference between what I'm doing and other people. And the amount of effort and quality that's gone into this particular effort that I'm talking about. As you may or may not have heard while I was on Wire's stream, I did have a very nice conversation with Ken the other day. I think it was like an hour or something. We were on for some time. And, I had my list, as always, went over a bunch of different things that I wanted to run by him. And, worked out a few kinks on a few ideas and a few skits and clips and all this sort of thing. Things are looking good, varied, and I like the idea that because you have multiple individuals that are contributing, you can expect that each week it's going to be slightly different in the sense that you don't have to expect, that's the same skit that they used last week, or that's the same sort of, whatever. Like, it's going to be like every month, I guess, or every week of the month will be somewhat different, sort of thing. So, like, and again, I'm trying not to give away too many things. One thing I could mention is, like, okay, so Ken has admitted about the commercials, right? And obviously we're not going to be playing, the same commercials every week. And we're also not going to put them all together for one episode, sort of thing. Because it takes effort to make commercials as well. So it's not like you're going to have 5 commercials on one show and repeat them the next 4 weeks, right, for the month. No, it's going to be varied. It's going to bounce around. There's going to be a lot of different things that are going to be featured. It should be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, just the different wares that we'll have and different things that we'll be presenting. And I believe there's going to be a fair bit more viewer interaction. So should be enjoyable. And I'm not too sure if I'm in the mood tonight to deal with any sort of call from Tommy. And yes, I am discriminating. But I think it's fair. It's been one of those days. It really has been one of those days for me. Like, even breathing out, in and out, is actually alleviating, because it's like it's been that much of a, I wouldn't say stressful, but bothersome, pressure-wise, I guess, that even breathing is just, it feels relaxing and enjoyable. So I'm not too sure if I'm in the mood to deal with Tommy tonight. And just from listening to what I heard, what was it? Today's Friday, Thursday. Ken had a thing yesterday, I believe, one of his shows. Yeah, his Converted, I believe. He didn't go live Wednesday. But yeah, on Converted, apparently Tommy kept trying to call in. He did that on last Friday, and then he also called it on Saturday. So yeah, basically, I'm not too sure if I'm in the mood to deal with Tommy today. I will be drinking a coffee, and I don't usually drink coffee after noon, but maybe drinking a coffee later on this afternoon, evening, to just perk me up a bit. And I will also take a shower, so I'll be smelling like a beautiful rose, no pun intended, or maybe I am. But regardless, showers are always great to wake you up as well. And I'm going to get my camera working again, since it seems to be this is just, a clusterfuck when it comes to the driver. So it has to be set up essentially every time the computer gets restarted. So yeah, I'll be live on camera, and you know what that means. People who are going to try to make fun of my physical appearance while they meanwhile look like they're on the edge of death. But hey, I'll try to focus more so that people can see that I'm not, an absolute freak, as the rumor has it. But what was it? Almighty One in the chat says Tommy has been acting as a clout chaser. Well, there's a lot of people out there that are doing that. But regardless, they're constantly making themselves known, and it doesn't cost those of us who don't care about them anything to ignore them. So let them keep doing that. But we don't have to tolerate it. Now, thankfully, on a side matter, it's been very quiet when it comes to Bullfrog, and that has been quite enjoyable. And, we know that he's not gone away. He's just keeping quiet and trying to avoid the spotlight. Maybe he's learning. Who knows? But considering the fact that he's still hanging out with Amanda Carmen and that group, yeah. Interesting stuff. Also, I was going to say, I got GTA Online installed, and yeah, Nikki and I are planning to hopefully, do something soon online, and stream it. And yeah, if you guys are on that or you play that, you want to join up online, yeah, find me. Was it DVS 2001? 2021. So the letters D, V, and S, and then the numbers 2021. Should find me on the Rockstar social channel and whatever. And yeah, we can play some games. My character actually looks surprisingly very much like me. I was actually quite pleased that I was able to accomplish that. Question from Yig, which intrigues me. Have you discussed the JB rumor, Dave? Now, I'm apparently totally clueless on this stuff. I'm obviously out of the loop here, but what is this JB rumor? Z the Reaper says, Dave, that steak you posted on Instagram, bro, you got to keep doing... You keep outdoing yourself. Oh, thanks. Jadiz says, I still watch AEW, Tiff. It's more tolerable than the Connecticut company. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I could eat steak every single day. It is, and it used to be pizza for me. Pizza would be something that I could just I could devour 2 large pizzas without even fucking breathing. It was incredible. Back in my teens and early 20s, it was like a fucking vacuum. Nowadays, I can't do it that much. And, I can eat half a large pizza, in one round, I guess. That's what I call them. Because, you get hungry again after a little bit and you digest and you go back, eat some more. But, I eat in rounds. That's the thing, though. What I don't like is to, how a lot of these competitive eaters actually drink a lot of fluids while they eat. And that just bloats me the fuck up. And it just feels so painful and stuff, because not only are you filling your, gullet with fucking food, but you're also filling it with, usually with fucking carbonated drinks, which is now just fucking totally ripping you apart. And that's how you get a bullfrog. So, that sort of level of discomfort I'm not willing to deal with. But, and yeah, I can eat a whole large pizza, without much difficulty. I used to, like I said, be able to do it without a problem. But, a large pizza for me, that's 3/4 of that I can consume, and maybe I'll have a few slices or more for the next day. But steak, I could eat steak, forever. Let's go back to the chat here. Yig says, JB has a secret Patreon. Apparently, that's what I heard from YR's show. Well, see, I don't know what to think about what YR, does or where he gets his information. So I'm not too sure if I can give it any sort of credence. But I know he's been around. He hasn't really been sort of making it apparent. But I know he's been around. And I did hear, at some point in the past that he did have some sort of, he was still doing stuff on the internet, on YouTube, but I never found out about that. And, he doesn't talk to me, so I don't know. I thought maybe, JB was planning on coming back to, or going back to Joe Cronin's show. But, yeah, I'm clueless on that matter. So, what else? Oh, yeah, Skype lines are open if anyone wants to call in. I could use a co-host here to alleviate my Friday mush brain. And, yeah, then I won't sound totally retarded. Afternoon, Mars. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so I was talking about GTA Online. So if you want to find me there, cool stuff. I don't know. I just went randomly online. Thought that YR might want to call in because he was having those issues. He was getting frustrated and stuff, and he let me onto his call to bring up what Joe was saying. I don't know. Type a 1 in the chat if you want me to review that again, because I did sort of review most of it, I guess, on YR's show. But it was just that clip from last night where he called disc frisbee, just call it white people. And then he goes into the whole, pretending to be gay while Troy's there and trying to embarrass him, but he thinks it's funny. And, I did comment on the whole thing that, he always does try to make things sexual. And it's basically it's unnecessary. It really is beyond juvenile, and it makes you question why you would think that he would have the need to do that. I just thought it was comical because he was on a roll. He goes from basically, okay, well, this sport here, for whatever justification that I'm not providing, is now, it's so white, you might as well just call it white people. And then he goes directly into the virtue signaling about, okay, so we got 2 votes for 1. I guess we'll do it. Let's go back to where I posted it. Is this it? Yes.
Then you go grab it and you throw it again, and then you throw it again and you try to sink it. And it's this chain-looking thing, and then it holds on to the disc of the frisbee. And we did 18 holes, and I made fun of it. I'll tell you that. I made a lot of fun of it. I said, bro, this looks fucking ridiculous. I might have to kill myself if I actually play this game. I got to be honest. But it was actually fun. It's golf with a frisbee. I felt like the biggest loser. And you know what? It's funny that Topher, you say that in the chat, because I literally, dude, I put disc golf up the other day. We watched it. I didn't know what it was called. I'm watching these guys with, they look, the sport should just be called white people. That's all it should be called. Just fucking rename the sport. It's not disc golf. Just rename it fucking white people. That's all you name it. Dude, me and Troy were walking back.
and I explained this on YR stream. But I mean, like, so. I mean, it's just so tiring to fucking have to deal with this shit. Okay, so for some fucking reason, he's like, oh, this is clearly white people. So, what is rioting? You know, should we just call rioting black people? I mean, should we call, playing mariachi music Mexican people? It's just the dumbest fucking shit ever. And it's like, I'm not familiar with sports that originate from Africa, for example, but I'm sure there are. So, it's just like, imagine that. Okay, so there's some sport that some native tribe, started, and it's been around for thousands of years or something. And, imagine Joey like, oh, this sport is so black. You might just call it black people. Sport is, obviously we're here in Africa, and, they've had it for thousands of years, so clearly you might as well call it black people. It doesn't matter what heritage that sport had before, or, the fact that it's not exclusively, reserved for black people. It's like, well, it's a sport, you can play it. But yeah, it originated in Africa. So yeah, let's just call it black people. That logic is just so, perfect that it doesn't even need to be argued, right?
Back to the car, and I had my baby blue shirt on, and we had the discs in our hands. People were walking by us, and I was like, man, we look like a gay couple, which is fine. And by the way, it's almost June, Pride Month.
First of all, we have which is fine. Well, seeing as you're not really willing to talk about it, Joe, or at least not in the seriousness that's necessary, but, it doesn't seem to be very fine for people in the Middle East. We already know what the tenets of Islam say in the Quran, as well as the Sunnah and other various books.
Happy Pride.
Oh, sorry, I said the one word that, just destroys everything. Books. Books, it's like, poison ivy. He runs away.
Month to everybody out there who's gay.
Yeah, hold on. Let's do this again.
People were walking by us, and I was like, man, we look like a gay couple, which is fine. And by the way, it's almost June, Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to everybody out there who's gay.
Yeah, virtue signal. Yeah, hey, I mean, you already recognize the absolute illegitimacy of, declaring a whole month, towards basic stupidity. It's like people celebrating their own existence based on their gender. It's fucking stupid. And Joe obviously, is an enabler. So clearly, hey, yeah, Pride Month, yeah. So yeah, I'm totally for the gays and stuff.
I have a lot of gay friends.
There you go. This is how you break down an argument. This is how you see where the intent is coming from. Also, his brother-in-law is gay. And, he's many a times, obviously due to Leah's pressure, he's come to his defense, when I've raised logical points on his show and stuff. And, shown an unwillingness to be coerced into believing their liberal nonsense.
But we look like a gay couple, so I started joking around. As people were walking by, I was like, I think that we should do it. We should just do it. Fuck, you know what I mean? We should just paint the walls the color you want. And dude, he's like, what are you doing, dude? And people are looking at us, And nowadays when you do that, people go, oh, good for you guys. And you're like, oh, good for us. Yeah. What do you
What people do that?
mean? What are you talking about? Have you ever seen that? People do that. They because they're so happy you're gay. Because everyone loves it now. Everybody wants.
Okay, what? Everyone loves it? It seems like more like, those that try to push it for, acceptance and normalcy, which is in the entire contradiction to the, to the facts in itself. But, it's, oh my God, this stuff is just, it's mind blowing how, because here's the thing though, there's clearly a mix of both. And either tell me what you think in the chat, or call up and argue, or display information and stuff, because I think it's a mix of both. It's a mix of belief, actual conviction, and understanding how to play the game. Building on that, going to the chat, we've got Tiff who says, sounds like Joe is testing the waters. And I think that apart from the sexual connotation that obviously contains, I'm thinking also I see that testing the waters a lot of the time in regards to seeing how much he can push with the shock jock stuff, as well as what the audience wants. So if the audience wants anti-white rhetoric, he'll give it. If it wants pro-gay support, it'll give. If it wants BLM, support, he'll acquiesce to that. So I think that has something to do with that, although I can't necessarily say that was exclusively what Tiff was referring to. I'd actually disagree with it's the Costanza. It says Tommy has to be 60% gay. Only if gay means happy, and if it was, he'd be 1,000% gay. But no, he's definitely no pickle kisser. His mustache might say different, but no, he is definitely the straightest arrow in the quiver. Okay, so let's continue back here. Funny, Yig says, no wonder Joe barely has any friends. Yeah, if you have one that's constantly bombarding you with that sort of stuff, I guess you'd get sort of sick of it. But let's go back.
Wants to be a part of it because they don't want to feel like they're anti-gay. So
this sounds more like projection to me. It's like, you guys know me. I really don't give a fuck what people think, what my opinion is or anything. I'm just going to state it. And, there's a difference between calling for genocide and basically saying, I don't like you and I choose not to interact with you, and go take it up the ass. Total difference. And it just very much seems to me that this is an aspect of, because like I said, it's partial believed and partial, salesman type thing.
Have you ever seen that? People do that. They because they're so happy you're gay, because everyone loves it now. Everybody wants to be a part of it because they don't want to feel like they're anti-gay. So people are like, oh.
But that's the thing, though. Tommy, for example, it's funny. Let's talk about this. I remember a time where they did this a couple of times. I monetized this. They sort of hijacked the conversation, or they sort of railroaded it so that Tommy was confronted with Joe and others. Usually it was Joe and Jesse who were pushing this shit. I believe JB may have been a little bit with it, but not too much, as to the amount that Joe and Jesse did. But they confront the guy with, oh, well, do you support gay people? Now, that automatically is a disingenuous question from the get-go, and unacceptable to be asking. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to put him into a catch-22. And I don't have to break down why that is. You guys are smart enough to know that shit. And even Joe is. Even Joe is smart enough to know that shit. But they did that on purpose to try to make Tommy look and sound bad and intolerant. Now, first of all, pedophiles need to be put into wood chippers' feet first. Now, why do I say that? Because I am intolerant to pedophiles. I'm bigoted towards pedophiles. I discriminate towards pedophiles. And I judge pedophiles. And you know what? Nobody, no matter how much their heart bleeds because they're a fucking dipshit liberal piece of shit coward, am I ever going to feel shame or remorse or hesitation or repentance for judging a pedophile, for being bigoted and discriminatory to a pedophile. As such, especially from an East Coast liberal, I will not take dictation on morals and ethics. So Joe is the last person that I will even tolerate to listen to when it comes to speaking on morality. Let's continue with this clip.
Oh, good for you guys.
And again, just to reiterate, I don't care if people think I'm anti-whatever. Good. Good, because it shows you fence-sitting coward, that some people are willing to take a stand, even if it's unpopular, because they have conviction, because they actually believe in something.
And you're like, oh, good for, like, what are you talking to us? What are you talking about? What are you saying? Good for us? What do you mean? Oh, I was.
Yes, it's bullsy. You might want to look into that. Liberals actually do defend pedophiles. It's all over the place. And, in fact, they are trying to normalize it. You must remember, this whole drag queen story hour crap, that's grooming. Plain and simple. Let's continue.
No, I was just saying it's good.
Let's go back and let's hear this from the
You
go.
ever seen that? People do that. They like because they're so happy you're.
Oh, and I gotta say though, when he says this, the way he looks into the camera, I don't know. To be quite honest, it's like a gay kid trying to hit, or like a gay person or whatever, like trying to hit on someone or make them like intrigued, like, oh, I'm gay, like, you want to give it a try, sort of thing. Like the way he's looking at the camera and he's talking about this really does seem to be that way. And you're looking at about 36 minutes 46 seconds into this video, which is out of nowhere from yesterday, which was May 27th, 2021. It's called Out of Nowhere Free the Narrative Review, tilde, which is the little squiggly line. And then in brackets, anything goes.
Have you ever seen that? People.
Yeah, like if I was to, yeah, okay, no, I have to. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to take a photo of this. I'm gonna have to show you what it looks like, because this is literally what he's. This is giving me creepy vibes. I'm being absolutely fucking honest here. This is giving me creepy vibes. I'm gonna call this creepy. Hold on, while I save this, creepy vibes. This is giving me creepy vibes. And I'm going to play the clip and I'll narrow it down, be like, there. At that, when I say that, this is when the look that you're going to see that I'm going to put up on the video now, this is the look that he's giving at that point. So, where the fuck is this? Creepy vibes. There it is. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, fuck you too, asshole. OBS wants to be a bitch. Well, I know how to deal with bitches. I make them famous. All right. Okay, so now take a look at this. And I'm going to bring it back. And we'll do the whole Simpsons thing. We're like counting it down to there. That's the exact moment. So let's rewind a little bit. Here we go.
Nowadays, when you do that, people go, "Oh, good for you guys," and you're like, "Oh, good for us." Yeah. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Have you ever seen that? People do that. They like because they're so happy you're gay because everyone loves it. They're like, "Oh, good for us." Yeah. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Have you ever seen that? People.
And there. Have you ever seen that? This like, guys, you ever seen that? Like, you ever been to a glory hole? Like, there's dicks coming out of the walls, man. It's crazy. Like, I'm getting a creep vibe here. I'm just being honest. Not, overly shitting on Cronin. I am actually just alerting you of something that alarms me, to be quite honest.
Do that. They like because they're so happy you're gay. Because everyone loves it now. Everybody wants to be a part of it because they don't want to feel like they're anti-gay. So people are like, "Oh, good for you guys." And you're like, "Oh, good for like, what are you talking to us? What are you talking about? What are you saying? Good for us? What do you mean?" Oh, I was, no, I was just saying it's good, we accept you here.
That sounds like how Joe talks normally. Not even finishing his sentence.
Okay, like, cool. Like, why? Just.
See, this is hilarious. Joe and Tiff actually brought this point up earlier in the chat, not about what Joe's doing, but about homosexual conduct in itself, is that it's overtly dramatic, both of them. They're drama queens. Lot of emotion and it's just over the top shit. And yeah, I mean, he's trying, but but here is what he is trying to do. He's actually trying to flip that and sort of trying to make it appear like the normal behavior is all cool and chill, not this like, let's go literally, dancing naked during the Pride parade and subject kids to nudity and, depravity and all this sort of thing. Hate on other people that just don't agree to our lifestyle, although they just choose not to interact with us. They're not actually hunting us down or anything like that. And Joe's trying to make it appear like, oh, yeah, I'm sure that, why do you think that it's a big deal that we're gay and stuff? Meanwhile, it'd be like, oh, I thank you so much for that affirmation, because clearly with the parades and the demand for all these different things, I'm clearly looking for an affirmation. Like what he's trying to do is he's flipping it on its head. This is Bizarro's world. Okay, so black is white, white is black. It's like fucking JFK. This is obviously, and I can't really say it's potentially subconscious, but this is what this sort of liberal brainwashing agenda has done to people. Is what they do is they try to take what they've been told is normal. And, again, gay people aren't flamboyant. That's the total opposite of reality. And we know this, okay? Even in the 50s, where it's like still taboo, you got fucking Liberace, one of the most flamboyant men ever. It's not being mentioned, but yes, we know the conduct. So what Joe, again, is trying to do, he's trying to make it sound like, oh, well, gays aren't really over-the-top drama queens who demand all these different things, blah, blah, blah. Like, even lesbians seem a little bit more not well-natured, but I mean, like, they carry themselves in a much less dramatic way. But this is just the reality. This is just the facts. And I've had, gay friends who were totally against the gay parade because they're like, we got our rights, especially obviously in Canada here where civil unions, marriages obviously were approved much earlier than America and stuff. But, they're like, yeah, mission accomplished. We have the same rights. We get we pay taxes. We get the same benefits, blah, blah, blah. Like there's no need to do the depravity. If we just want to march, happily and, but we don't need all this like degeneracy and debauchery and stuff. And that's coming from gay people. So it is well known that this is, pushed onto people. And it's done so in such a way, which is the Cronin style way, which is to try to heap shame and intolerance and coercion onto people to make them feel guilty about not feeling or thinking the way they do, which is totally Bolshevik. It's totally Marxist. So let's go back to the chat here. Tiff says, bingo, Dave, the gay parade is nothing but half-naked men dancing on a float. How are they supposed to be taken seriously when they do that? Exactly. But, we have Joe Cronin here and trying to attempt to normalize this sort of behavior. And in fact, he's trying to obfuscate it by basically stating a fantasy. And look, Joe isn't the smartest person around, and he's definitely ignorant in a lot of things. However, he's knowledgeable and wise in many other things. And I don't think he's fucking bullfrog level retarded to not know what he's doing. That's why I'm always perplexed. Is this totally contrived and like greatest show on earth fucking performance where it's just like he fucking sold everyone their fucking snake oil? Or is this, entirely brainwashed liberal mentality zombie motherfucker? Or is this a combination of both? Because I'm actually thinking it is sort of both, because it's like an Orwellian doublethink mentality. And if you're familiar with 1984, you know that some people, because of the brainwashing, have been able to be crafted in a way where their mind can actually hold two opinions at the same time, even if they conflict with each other. And they can still continue to function as if it's like a robot. Back to the chat here. Bam says, it's out of nowhere, supposed to be a wrestling show. I guess he meant isn't out of nowhere. And yes, I believe that is the rumor. Almighty One says, or at least one of them, because there's multiple in here apparently. And you guys better stop fucking around, because if I start to see multiple names, I'll delete both of you. And, again, better safe than sorry. I know one of you is the imposter, but I'll shoot you both. Bam says, Almighty One says, after Mania, nobody should be talking about wrestling. That's kind of gay, because first of all, AEW is better than WWE. Mania hasn't been fucking good for a long time, I would think. And, some of my favorite wrestling is during the summer at some of these fucking carnivals and stuff in fucking little country towns and stuff, where you get to see legit good pro, indie wrestling, which is an oxymoron. But yes, we know the situation. Fake fighting. Bam says, well, Almighty, instead of out of nowhere, he should put out of the closet. Tiff says, Alex Rodriguez is coming out with makeup products for men. I saw that. So disgusting, so fucking degenerate. And yeah, Tiff says they want masculine men to go extinct. She meant extinct. She wrote instinct, but that's okay. I forgive you. Bam says, they can't. Tiff, human nature overrides liberal propaganda. It does. And it's amazing, though, because sometimes even the hardest propaganda for the longest time can be easily broken by a simple question or a simple life situation where one of these people is confronted with reality, because the most part, they just create these sort of protective layers around them to prevent them from interacting with reality. But if somehow reality breaks through and forces them to face it, many a times they actually do, in fact, sort of, start to go on a snowball's path of waking up and opening themselves to new things and just casting off that old bullshit that kept them, sequestered and in ignorance, basically. Let's see here. Irish Dave says, what's up? Well, we're here. But yes, let's continue with the clip here.
What do you mean you accept us here? What are you talking about? Because what are you saying? Oh, because because you're how you are.
Come on. How you are? Like, what is this? The 1960s or 50s? Who talks like that? Even the most bigoted, anti-gay person would be like, because you're a fucking fag. Or, if even if they're a liberal, they'd be like, yeah, because you're gay. It's okay to be gay. So what is this like? Oh, well, because you're like that. Is that how the Cronin does it? Is that where the true sort of contempt or belief projection comes from? It's like, oh, because you're like that?
How are we? What are you talking about? And then just get all weird.
What?
Dude, people are weird. Anyway, Crazy Blade says, play the 69 donation. Okay, yeah, donate $69 and I'll play it. Or it will play. My nose is itchy. I got mad allergies, bro. Trouble. How about EC3's new Trouble sort of ish version song? I mean, we've already heard it before, but it's in the movie, and there's a lot of good stuff in the movie. I'm gonna have
To the chat here, we got Bam who says, well, even Joe said monetize this was horrible. I don't think he used those exact words, but he did say that it wasn't as good as it was. He's like, oh, it's, sometimes 1 out of 4 isn't the best show. Bam says, unless he finds some talent, it won't be good. Actually, J-Diz, I believe you were mentioning about the photo of the steak that I made, or one of them, because I made 2 steaks yesterday. Inquiring about that, or maybe that was Z the Reaper. Regardless, no, it was Z the Reaper. Speaking of that post, Joe Cronin actually wrote below it saying, "Fuck you for making me hungry." So. Who knows if I get an email or a message from Joe Cronin anytime soon saying, you wanna be on Monetize This? I wouldn't put it past him. Considering the fucking, and I did subject myself to that bullshit show that that Tony and fucking YR did the other day. It wasn't so much bullshit as that what Tony was doing was bullshit, which was fucking wasting our times for one. Replaying the same clip 5 fucking times, and that's way more annoying than Ken playing the same clip fucking 5 fucking times. I don't know how, but Tony accomplished it. And like that show was it was horrid. Like what I heard of Monetize This was absolutely horrid. I don't ever remember having a show that bad when I was working with Joe, ever. And there was times that we had like shows that really, they were lackluster, but bad to that level bad. Like, okay, so even still, we never had any shows that were really bad. They were lackluster, like, oh, we could have done a lot better, but like the team was able to work. But, he's had bad shows. And then this is beyond that. This is the worst that I've seen it. The worst that I've seen it. And it's unreal. But I do think that, some of that has to, a lot of that has to do with the co-host. A lot of that has to do with the co-host and with Joe's inability or lack of desire to actually keep them in line. Sorry. I mean, when I was there, I was able to keep other people in line, even if they were co-hosts and shit. But like, Joe doesn't want to hurt people's feelings. But, he's willing to walk away, I guess, for half an hour or an hour or something and let basically a bunch of fucking idiots just squabble, ruin your show, and, annoy the audience. So, I don't know. I mean, I think it's fairly easy to resolve, that sort of issue. And I know I'm saying often, but it really does require some better co-hosts and some, I would say, structure. But that's really no longer my concern. I have been Joe free since November. That's 6 months. And I've done great things since then. And I can produce on my own. It doesn't have to be drama or anything. I can do anything I want. I can talk about any topic. I certainly don't sound like a psychotic alcoholic. And I have fun doing it. So, and people seem to want to tune in and stuff. And they want to interact and they want to discuss topics and stuff, and I'm always down with that. But I'm looking forward to Friday night. Tonight we now have 4 hours to go. So, close to. Been going close to an hour now. Remember, Skype lines are open. So I will accept anybody that wants to interact. Apparently Mars was heading back home from Area 51. So if he has enough time to get that alien body into the to the bunker, he might have some time to call in. I'm surprised YR did not call in, because he was feeling down, and he was, you know, the whole internet connection thing really affected him. So I thought maybe he'd call in and just get some stuff off his chest, because it sounds like he's having a rough day. Him and Tony having that fight, supposedly. We never know. Let's see, what else was I going to talk about? Smug Canadians hopefully coming soon. The next, oh, dudes. Yo, my name's Tony, dudes. Did you see my gay band? I mean, they were great, dude. I mean, we'd perform it every Pride Month, and you know, we would be in the toilets, and we would man those glory holes, and then we'd get on stage and play a great set. Yeah, dude. Let's see if that's enough to get Tony to call in. What else was I going to mention? Oh, Chad says, Dave, I sent you a Skype request last week. I'm not sure how non-commercial Skype works completely, but believe you found your name. You can't call in right now, though. Then why mention it? Yeah, I believe I approved you, so should be good. It's easy. The non-commercial, it's free. If you're connected to the internet, whether Wi-Fi or data, and you know, it's usually better if you don't have an unlimited data thing, then go with Wi-Fi. But you know, just find the person, click on their name, choose dial, and it calls, just like a regular phone. What else? I'm going nuts without a haircut. I gotta wait apparently a few more weeks for this shit, because even though the stay-at-home order is supposed to end next week, there's like sort of a gray period between that and the start of the wind down. Like, it's just so fucking pathetic. But yeah, I might have to start to look into the black market and get onto that dark web to get a fucking haircut. Now, you know that we've literally reached a dystopian future when you got to go onto a fucking dark web to fucking get a haircut. Okay? We all thought that we were going to get the fucking, you know, Blade Runner, you know, Matrix fucking dystopian future. Sorry, guys. This is what we get. The shittiest dystopian future ever. We don't even have fucking flying cars. This is the shit we got. So, great stuff. Great stuff. And something else I was going to bring up. Let's go back to the Cronin thing. That might
have a review of the movie, probably 10 minutes to 15 minutes long, coming up tomorrow or the weekend. We can all talk about it. I just want you guys.
Oh, I do remember. Yes, tonight, supposedly, he just does Corrupted, but we might see a return to what we had last week, which was Throwdown on a Friday, which again sort of negates the whole changing of the shows in the first place, because originally Monetize This was moved to Saturdays because he didn't have the time Fridays. But if he's going to be doing Throwdown on Fridays, then that's just switching two shows, and you know, especially because Ken is, you know, doing his shows then. So it's curious. It's bizarre. It's weird. It's weird. Also, Joe, the challenge still stands. Let's debate on race. And, you know what it's about. You know what it's about. You know what it's about. Come on. Come on. Let's debate. Because, and I broke this down the other day, but he's like, we don't disagree on the facts. It's like, but he's not finishing the sentence. Yeah, we've got the facts. What's the cause? What's the cause of these crime statistics? What's the cause of these fucking marital rates? What's the cause of fucking these health problems? You know, there's all these different things. And it would show so much courage from Joe if he had the guts to actually expose himself to a dirty situation. A situation where you know that any answer is not going to provide a total solution, but at least you have the guts to, you know, make a statement, even if it's not popular. But we can't expect that with Joe. He is the habitual fence sitter. He is Humpty Dumpty. In fact, his head kind of looks like Humpty Dumpty. And I don't think that that's because of the brains. It's because of the yolk. But I mean, come on, Joe. We could easily have a discussion, and you know, get to the bottom of it. You know, do a good show too. But I maintain, ladies and gentlemen, as we try Joseph Daniel Cronin in absentia here in this court of public opinion, that he would be forced to confront statistical fact that he would have to respond in such a manner that would probably ostracize much of his paying donators. And more importantly, I think it also would affect his personal view on himself, as I think that he would view it as a compromise to his eternal defense stance to anybody who's not white. And I think that that also would force him to confront the fact that he does, you know, have this bigotry of lowered expectations when it comes to black people. And, well, actually, to anyone who's not white. Basically, that's the truth. You know, unless they're Asian. And then he can make fun of them and ignore the fact that, was it 95 to 98%? If Travis was here, he'd tell me the exact number. But 95 to 98% of anti-Asian hate crimes are committed by black people. Joe will laugh at that sort of thing. He'll say oh, stupid Kraku, and stupid shit like that. But never confront the reality of the situation. Never actually show outrage unless it's only shows outrage if it's directed at someone who's not white. It's always like, oh, and again, you see this so often. You see, oh, well, white people riot too. White people get violent too. It's a logical fallacy for one. And maybe I'm going to have to do this. I did say that I was going to do this a while ago. Never did, but thought about doing a show just basically breaking down logical arguments, logical fallacies, and how, you know, examples of, okay, somebody will say this, and what they're actually doing is this logical fallacy by trying to get you to, or like question your validity by stating this. So like really break it down. And it's so evident that this is what Joe does. And I find it disgusting and disingenuous because you know that this guy is the type of guy who's a bleeding heart liberal, who's like, oh, violence, you know, we should be no war, everyone should hug. Okay, but the problem is that he's only willing to call out certain sides. And although he'll deny that and say, well, I'll call out both sides, the thing is, though, he'll say, okay, well, white people, you know, bad because of slavery and all this stuff. Oh, yeah, I also say black people bad. Well, why? Well, what about the Hispanic? No, Joe. We're talking about the black person. You said, okay, white people bad because of this. Well, you say black people bad too because you're fair, but you won't give any reason why. Could you quantify that? Could you explain it? Or is this just to say, well, I'm balanced. I hate them both. I'll, actually give reasons why, I don't like white people, but, black people, I'll leave it ambiguous. So that I can say, well, just kidding, not kidding. Or, well, it's not everyone or something like that. Always looking for that quick escape exit. That ability to sort of say, well, really what it is the virtue signaling escape. It's the ability to again claim that you're taking a stance when you're not really taking any. Let me go back to the chat here. I don't know what they're talking about here, about withholding evidence. Oh, something about bullfrog. All right. Let's go back to this clip.
If you saw the movie or if you saw it, I want you guys on this video down in the comments to write your thoughts. Write your thoughts on Twitter if you can. Use the hashtag #FreeCronin. And if you use the hashtag #FreeCronin, I can look for it. And if you haven't bought it and watched it yet, it also helps that they WWE. Of literally destroying everybody in the wrestling business. But
it's the end of that. I believe there may have been something else, but I can't remember where that was. Again, I'm concerned with this most recent statement, but it's just so repeated and it's so constant, and yet obviously you can't expect anybody on his show to ever call him out on it. Well, considering, he'll step away and just let them fight. So it's disappointing, the fact that he gets away with trying to paint this narrative that he's this big white savior, and his actions are transparent. It's always about trying to garner the support, the sympathy, and I would love to have a frank discussion with him, an honest, frank discussion, just to, like a round table, Stone Cold, The Rock type thing before WrestleMania 17. As, what's his name, EC3 made a great point during that interview that he had with Joe. Because it sort of, again, gave a real feel to the whole thing. But, again, Joe, these things are things that you've always avoided when I was even on the show and stuff. And you gotta fucking be able to face this stuff. You gotta be able to show the audience that you have the courage to discuss difficult topics. And if somebody calls you a bad name or a word that hurts you, you just gotta move on. So, I don't know. I'm not too sure why Joe continues to avoid something that's been dogging him for so long. But it could be possible that he just doesn't want to look bad in front of people. And it's funny, though, because he does kind of consider himself capable of having an intellectual discussion. And I talked about it, actually, during one of the last drama diners, is that I think it was one of the drama diners, where he thought that by me acting normal, by not yelling, that I was patronizing him. And that's what Leah said that people like me and others were doing, is that they were patronizing him by just talking to him mad. And Joe, again, said, I'll prove you wrong about me not being able to handle myself emotionally. I'm going to now have an outburst because I can't handle myself emotionally. That'll show you. So, I talked about that too. And that is the way that he does conduct himself, and I don't know. I don't know if he believes it or what, because I talk like this normally. But if he thinks that this is somebody trying to patronize him, maybe he's the one that has a serious problem. But, if you can't have a proper discussion verbally without having a conniption, then that's not necessarily the person who's acting calm. And I mean, you saw that with me and Joe during that episode of Ken's show back in the day. In fact, let us take a listen back through memory lane, because there are a few things there that I think would be good to cover, since we're all here anyways. And we'll get to hear a little of the same old, same old.
Dan, he wouldn't really. Should I try to get him back in here?
I just DM'd him to see. I'll see what's going on. I don't know. Hey, is Dave Rose on the call?
Yes, he is.
Is he gonna?
Now, listen. Obviously, we know Dave Rose. He waits for his introduction. Sometimes he doesn't, but he is cordial regardless.
Tell some lies on your show?
Well, I was going to ask if you're going to continue to perpetuate your lies, considering that you supposedly apologized to me like 70 times, unquote.
Yeah, I always apologize to you.
No, you haven't.
never say something to me, but
again,
I
you came out and you said
Yes, I did.
that,
You
which
came
was
back on the show.
false.
You wouldn't come back on the show unless I apologized to you.
What?
I had to apologize.
Remember, gentlemen and ladies, I am Mr. Consistent for a reason. And remember, I am very vehement in my beliefs. You could call it hard-headed. I'll allow that. But the fact is, though, you guys know I don't give a fuck about words. There's no material there. There's nothing. They're worthless. But what does speak are actions. So we know that Dave Rose doesn't go around like a pussy. Give me an apology, please, sir. Can I have another? Dave Rose doesn't give a fuck about apologies. Cares about action. This has been consistent from day one. But we got Joe here years ago. Actually, 4 years. To be exact, 4 years and 10 days. 9 days. 4 years and 9 days ago.
Apologize to you and tell you all these things to get you to come back on the show. I had to say sorry and admit shit. But like you're out there.
No, that's
tweeting
bullshit,
out
because
Jesse.
you were mad at me because I voiced my opinion with Jesse, and you said, okay, well, I disagree because Jesse's a meddler, and okay, fine,
He did call Jesse a meddler.
we
Jesse-
moved on.
You know
But
what
the
you did.
fact
You
is
today a
that
lie.
Listen how he keeps trying to interrupt.
You came out recently and said, oh, Dave hasn't spoken to me for 3 weeks. I apologized to him like 70 times, and he hasn't said anything, so he'll have to suck my
you
dick
in
and
the
come back on the show.
That is also true. And again, Joe Cronin's exaggeration gets held accountable, and he can't stand it. He said 70 times.
I've
That
apologized to you in
was
the
a
past.
blatant lie.
No,
What else was a
no,
blatant
I
lie
see it.
that you
You
said
fucking
that...
Again, he won't even let me answer. And has anything really changed since that point? I mean, obviously, except for the number of fucking co-hosts that he's gone through.
I said
Shut the fuck up and
I
listen to
hated
me.
all
Can
the
I
shows.
talk?
I don't hate
Can I
all the
speak?
shows. It
Can I
was
speak?
one time
Wait,
this,
wait.
You just
Let him-
fucking lied. So can
Any
I
other-
speak?
No, that's the funniest thing is that he does this all the time. You're trying to respond, and he's constantly interrupting you. And then he tries to get on this fucking high horse and say, well, can I speak? It's like, but you've been speaking over me while I'm trying to explain this.
show that I had
Can I
an
speak,
issue.
you fucking cunt?
You-
Can I?
So you can't hold your emotions together. Nothing's really changed in the 4 years and 10 days. Sorry, 9 days. 9 days.
I say
Decided that you
something?
wanted to try
Blah,
to...
blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna.
Sounds like fucking Tommy. He makes fun of Tommy and shit. You know, fuck you. But He does this?
Keep talking like a cunt. I said about the past that you've come back to the show. I've had to apologize to you.
No, but see, that's the thing, though. Dave Rose has never expected or demanded or even wanted an apology. So this whole mentality of Joe, like, I had to apologize, blatant lies.
You're going to continue to act like you're the good person, the righteous one.
Are you going to let me speak and even correct this? Are you going to let me talk?
Let him talk a little, Dave.
Ken's being somewhat retarded here, too, because he doesn't seem to understand that I was letting him speak. And Ken was letting him, Joe, speak over me.
Come on.
I was responding to you, but okay, fine.
You're lying again because...
Lying. Joe, you've been so exposed.
Not lying.
I apologized to you a million times in the past to get you to come back on the show multiple times. That's what I was talking about, not...
Forget about changing my actual behavior so that, I actually appreciate the time that you spend and the effort that you make. No, it's like the bullfrog mentality. Well, I apologized. And nothing's fucking changed, people. 4 years, 9 days, nothing's changed.
Not in the last 3 weeks. I haven't apologized to you at all because I don't owe you an apology.
So it's kind of like that episode that you were responding to Foul Mouths and to Super Ugly saying, yeah, I was pissed off at you, not really. Or I was, or not. Well, which is...
That's right. The old just kidding, not kidding routine.
I mean, again, I've talked to multiple people who have, again, agreed with me at the fact that they were unclear at what your response was in regards to how Super Ugly, it was Rocky or whoever.
Why are you talking about that now? What does that have to do with you?
Because after that point, you thought that because I...
Listen, he's like, what does that have to do with it? It's like, okay, well, here's the answer. Let me keep talking over you. Very mature, Joe. Very mature.
Went on to Foul Mouse Network show that I supposedly had switched shows, that I was now a turncoat and a backstabber.
That's what you're doing. I mean, what else is there to say? You're like, everything's great. All of a sudden,
to go on, and I shared my opinion. That's all it was. If you don't like my honest opinion, well, I can't.
You didn't give me that opinion the day before, like, oh, the show, Joe. Jesus, what happened tonight?
Joe.
What a liar.
Oh, he tweeted it out earlier that day, though.
Again, all those graphics I made before about make monetize this great again, no, there is clearly a record of me stating this to you publicly and privately.
Oh, no, I get that's fine. I get what you're saying.
This is not what it used to be, and it could be better.
You can
again, it's your show. You run.
Don't you guys think this is so synchronistic? I remember, most of this stuff, but like it's just me bringing up the whole quality of this show, especially now. From compared to what we had last week and stuff, it's just like it's a cycle, and it's Joe at the center of that cycle. So how can it be so blatantly obvious, and yet for Joe to be so oblivious to it, to ignore something that has literally been happening for at least 4 years, and it's been more, but at least 4 years, as this video proves. But it's everyone else's fault but his. Let's continue.
Run it your way. It's obviously not my fucking opinion, but the fact is I will share my thoughts on any subject that I choose, no matter whose ass gets butt hurt.
Why did you tweet out today to Jesse? Why did you tweet out?
Actually, here's a good thing, because I've seen this guy in the chat. So let's call out his hypocrisy, because we do have it right here. But on this, actually, hold on. Let me do this. This is a bit better because it's a good expose, as they say. Okay, so here is what we have. Actually, let me actually do something slightly different here. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you somebody who's been appearing in the chats, who's apparently a fan of mine now, saying some words that were quite different from what they say these days in respect to me. So let's expose their change of opinion, as it were. So I bring attention to the comment at the bottom of this screenshot, which is of this video that we're playing and listening to the audio of. So let's just wait for the video to show up here, or the image to show up here. So we have Ghost of Tommy's Barber says, I'm so glad Dave isn't on shows anymore. He tries so hard to sound smart, it's sickening. Ain't that right, Ghost of Tommy's Barber? So, looking forward to your explanation on that one. Did you finally realize I was your better? That I'm actually not trying to sound smart? I'm actually dumbing myself down? Did you finally clue in? I'd be very interested to hear your opinion on that one. But let's continue with the clip.
Don't say that Jesse left the show. Why did you?
Listen to this guy. He can't even control his own emotions. Won't even let me respond. It's like, well, you asked me a question. I'm not deaf, so I can answer it. Just allow me to explain.
Tweet out today that Jesse left because I told lies about him. Why did you tweet out today that
He's just like Bullfrog. All these people, remember how I keep bringing up the repetition thing? All these individuals that make these videos that are constantly repeating, and again, when they get fired up, they repeat the same thing over and over again. Repetition is the sign of a very feeble and unintelligent mind.
I lied about Jesse?
Jesse chose to leave smartly.
Shit! You tweeted out today that I was telling lies about Jesse.
And I believe one of my, I think it was Joe Cronin Exposed or something, I made a really nice long video exposing Joe Cronin where I actually showed these clips, screenshots, proving that I was correct. That basically everything I said about Jesse thinking about what he did about Joe was correct, and that Joe was basically blatantly lying here.
See,
Wow. Again,
this is beautiful.
He got really mad because I called him out publicly. Because I did, it's like, okay, fine, I can't get your attention privately. Okay, let's do it publicly. Tag you guys and show the truth. And this is the result.
Why did you
Around
tweet that?
helping you out, trying to help you with the show, volunteer.
Answer me, or you're gonna talk like a fucking robot!
Like a
Are you retarded?
rational person. You're reacting like
Are you going to talk like a robot or answer my question? What?
Don't you have the patience to listen?
Why did you tweet out today that I lied about Jesse?
like I am.
Jesse says I didn't.
See, he's asking a question, but he's not letting me respond. What kind of fucking adult does that? Answer, they're not an adult.
Try to have
Dave,
a normal
Dave,
conversation.
Shut the fuck up!
So, but hold on. You want me to answer? Or you want me to shut the fuck up? Oh, you don't like my tone of voice. You're triggered because you're a little bitch. Oh, that's curious.
Dave.
You're gonna yell like a child. Then
Could
clearly
you
you're not
keep talking?
rational or
Shut your
emotional enough
Dave.
to be able to have a good
So, but hold on. So, what is it? You want the answer? Or you want me to shut my faggot mouth?
discussion.
Shut your
So I'm-
faggot mouth!
Wait, Dave.
Well, it is Joe that made it, sexual, and obviously he's going to go straight for the gay. He wouldn't say your pussy mouth. He said your gay mouth, or your faggot mouth. I think that, I would have said fucking, was it the pussy mouth thing? But like him with the faggot mouth sort of reveals that. But again, listen to how he's gone from answer me to shut up. But it was literally within 60 seconds at most, maybe 45 to 60 seconds. It was a fast turnaround. I mean, yeah, definitely definitely quite reactive.
Dave.
But it's not my
Really,
problem
Ken?
here.
This is the guy? You're gonna have this guy on your show?
Go fuck
He
off.
called in, man. He called in. It's not. I don't have him as a host or anything.
And he keeps talking.
And he keeps talking. Answer my question, but shut up! Answer my question, goddammit! No, shut the fuck up! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Joe Cronin. Is he man? Is he woman? Who knows? 5 cents will get you access. Come on in to the freak tent. We've got the Joe Cronin. We've got the Bullfrog. We have the man with no chin, D. Welsh. Only 5 cents for admission.
You would have hung up on Tommy a while ago.
It's not costing me anything, dude.
Again, listen to how little I'm even bothered by this. It's annoying, but it's not something that's like, oh, Joe wants... First of all, Joe's angry. I'm not angry. Joe's like worked up. I'm not worked up. I, think it's fucking stupid. And he's trying to bait me and entice me. It's just like, you're below me. You can't do that.
Because you keep talking and rambling and...
Oh, now he's got to talk like this because he can't talk like a normal person. So he's going to try to bait me again. But he still can't control his own feelings.
I can keep speaking so you can't talk to me and talk...
We just exposed you, Joe. You talk, you say answer the question, then when the question's being answered, you won't even allow it to be answered. And once there's a little bit of a gap where somebody can answer, you tell them to shut their faggot mouth. Isn't that right?
about things I want to talk about. That's what you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you just did it. Want to rewind the fucking tape?
All right, well, listen, wait.
I could rewind it and expose you again, Joe, but we've gone through this multiple times. And although I love going down memory lane and just showing how dumb you have been in the past, the door is always open, my son. Truly, I am a great man and a forgiving one. For I am Saint Rose. I don't have the graphic available at the moment to put it up, but trust me, you can get your free printed signed copy in the mail, as long as you send shipping and handling postage. And you true can be set free from your absolute disgrace. And I can assure you that once you choose to come to the truth, you will live a better life. Let's continue.
Wait, listen, Dave.
It's the fact that I'm not willing to acquiesce.
Dave, he asked you a question, though, Dave.
Which you're doing right
Can I
now.
say what I want to say?
Ken also sad at this point. He was pulling for Joe, and I don't know how he didn't understand or hear that I literally answered and tried to answer Joe multiple times, regardless of Joe speaking over me, yelling over me, trying to tell me to shut up when he wanted an answer, while he was still saying, I want you to answer, shut up. I want you to answer, shut up. So, yeah, that's the thing, though. This is 4 years ago. Ken woke up. Ken converted himself to a life of Kenicism. And truly, great things have come. So Ken has changed. But at this point, you can see that there is obvious influence from Cronin.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
Why did you tweet out to...
It's so funny, though. Let him talk. It's just like... But he did talk. And he asked me a question. And I answered the question. And I tried to answer the question. And he tried to prevent me from answering the question. And now you're telling me to let him ask the question. Like, come on, man. I mean, even Bullfrog isn't that deaf.
Today that the reason Jesse left is because I was telling lies about him.
And that's correct.
Why did you tweet it?
It's funny. And that's correct. Because that's what you said. Screenshots also prove it.
because
Jesse
the fact
says
is
you're lying.
Why does he ask a question and then start yelling over somebody?
went on.
Jesse says you're.
Did you want an answer or not?
Okay, give me the answer.
Oh, it took like literally like 5 minutes of him yelling over me, probably more than 5 minutes, for him to finally say, "Okay, give me an answer." Come on.
Well, the answer is because last night you were on the that Ask podcast saying that I was on there saying stuff in the chat when I had disconnected I was in there for the
What are
beginning
you talking about
and then
right
I left. So, well, the fact is you went on.
See, like, he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I've got to stop myself." Then I'm like, "Okay, we're dealing with the retard here." So now I've got to go and further reference. So as I try to do that, like, blah, 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 but you're not really interested in a serious conversation. Is that why you don't call in, Joe? Because you're not really interested in a serious conversation? You just want to make yourself a victim? I mean, think about how much you could accomplish by finally debating me. Or do you think that you're going to be revealed? That's what I'm curious about. What is it that prevents you from debating me? And stop with this, "Well, I don't know what we're supposed to agree. We both agree on the crime statistics." But that wasn't the part of the debate. The debate is, what are the causes of this disproportionate racial crime? Those are the questions, and that is the question that Joe is scared to answer. Because it's truly one of cowardice, a stance of cowardice, to not confront a very pressing issue that every person faces in North America, especially in America. So
You went on to Dada podcast,
And I made a joke
started
about the
to
guy
fucking
looking
say, "Oh,
like
that's
you."
you in the
That
chat."
was total
stuff.
satire.
And again,
That was
considering
What
the
does that have to
fact
do
that
with the
you've
tweet
been
about Jesse?
lying,
What does that have to do about the tweet of Jesse?
Yeah, but Dave, what does that have to do with Jesse,
because it's
though?
about time that I started speaking the truth rather than hold my
You told a
tongue.
lie, you fucking
No.
idiot!
No,
no, it wasn't a lie, though.
no.
Everyone knows you're a liar now!
No.
Everyone knows you're a liar now. What is this, like fucking grade 3? Like, what the fuck?
It's
You just talk circles around shit! You fucking liar!
So, Joe, again, remember, he can only make his point when he's yelling. That's the only thing that makes it valid. He can't speak normally, like a human.
Tommy C was right!
you're fucking overreacting at the fact. And again,
You can't give me an answer, you cunt!
Again, who's the one who's overreacting here?
I am because you're so fucking crazy! And I'm going
That's not a valid reason, stupid.
I'm crazy.
You are crazy, you liar! You can't even answer me! Why did you say...
Delusion beyond belief. And nothing's changed.
Jesse fucking lied!
Trying to explain to you. Why did I say about that, Jesse?
Because I
About
called
that about
both
Jesse?
notes while you
Because
said-
that is one of multiple instances where I've held my tongue to try to let things go forward and to let you continue to do a show and to be working with you to help you out again. Because again, I wanted to help
Hold
you
your
out.
tongue about what, Dave?
And yet,
Hold your tongue about what?
about things that should be spoken, about things that basically.
See, this is me still trying to be, like, I'm still trying to be diplomatic. And, you know, I know that I'm live. Because that's another thing that Joe does. And Aspero told me about this earlier today. Well, reminded me of this sort of equivalence where it's, as long as it's public, Joe's willing to be around and debate you or discuss things with you, as long as he's got people with him. But in private, nope, no way in hell. No chance. And that is basically so that he can control the narrative. That's for him to basically say, and it's hilarious. It'll be something where you might be on a call with 5 people, and Joe's one of them, and they'll all attack you, and you're trying to bring up points with Joe, and then he'll claim that you were trying to bully everyone on the call, like one person against many. And it's pathetic because it's so transparent. Because if someone needs to be, like, have a discussion in public so that they can control what people think, it's just plain sad. It shows that they can't confront things naturally. and they have a problem with confrontation in reality, which that's totally true. Joe has a serious issue with confrontation. He doesn't like conflict unless it's being directed at other people. Jesse's the same way. If he can set two people to fight against each other, he's happy. It's disgusting. He's an agent of chaos. So as long as that that chaos is being directed to others and others have to go through it, then they're satisfied. But as soon as somebody focuses on them, they become the victim. They need a whole army around them to protect them. And they could never possibly even go into a situation where there'd be a fair debate with equal parties. No, because they know that they would be exposed. And I believe that Joe would believe that as well, that he would be exposed. But he's not going to admit it. So, well, I'm going to have to keep reminding people that Joe chooses not to debate me on these sorts of things. And he could easily just solve it all by just having a debate with me. But I don't know. Perhaps people should remind him that he could win a debate against me or something. You know, build up his pride or something, make him think he can. Who knows? That's the thing, though. I think he realizes what would happen. And he doesn't want to lose that clout, that ability to manipulate public opinion to make him appear sympathetic to the plights of others. And he can say whatever he wants on his show, but until he sort of has a debate or has a good discussion on it, I don't think we're ever going to find out the exact truth. But I find it disingenuous regardless. I think he knows what he's doing. And yes, some of that is the white guilt. But other stuff, it's the white savior brownie points. You can, make yourself look real good and inclusive and, accepting. Because that's the whole thing. It's like, oh, we're inclusive and accepting and stuff. So everyone belongs. Everyone matters and such. So I can see that being more of a motto for Joe. What else can I mention? We got 49 fake viewers. I appreciate every single one of you. Hope your Friday is going good so far. T-minus 3 hours and 30 minutes until Friday Night Fire. That should be good. I personally am unfortunately going to have to consider some food to order out because I've been busy all day taking care of the homestead. And I have not had time to prepare any meals. So it's going to have to be, well, for myself, that is. So I'm going to have to think of something that will fill me up and keep me going for the fire tonight. I had subs the other night, actually. I ordered half foot seafood sub. And yeah, I'll be honest. A lot of the times that's simulated seafood. It's got proteins and stuff, but it's like the McRib. It's made of protein, but it's not necessarily from the animal that you think it's from. And it's just put into this sort of mold to get the shape and stuff. But yeah, half foot seafood sub, which was actually quite tasty, and a foot long assorted sub. And damn, was that sub really good. And I actually ordered it from Mr. Sub. So for those Canadians that know, Mr. Sub obviously is a Canadian brand. I think it's better than Subway. Funny, Subway in multiple countries now has already, I think this started in Ireland, but Their bread has essentially been classified as not being bread because there's so much sugar in the shit that it actually does not qualify as bread according to regular standards. So and in Canada, it's funny, I think it was the CBC, which is the public broadcaster, they investigated the chicken that Subway uses, and they found out that I think it was like more than, I can't say 60%, but it was more than 50%. So by saying more than 50%, factually you can say the majority, because it's more than half, right? So the majority. The majority of Subway meat, there's Subway chicken meat, is not chicken. It's filler or other shit. Does it have chicken there? Yes. But at least 50%, but probably more, because I don't remember the exact amount. For some reason, 60% is sticking in my brain. I'd have to look it up to find out. Is not really considered chicken meat. Now, Bam brings up something that's very close to my heart. Firehouse Subs. Now, they came into Canada a few years ago. I remember when they first came in, because actually, it's funny that we're talking about Mr. Sub. If you go onto YouTube and you look up Mr. Sub review, I think the first video that comes up is mine. Well, is a video that I made for a guy called, oh man, now I look like a fucking moron. Oh man, Graham. And I did a food review for the guy when I was working with him, because I sailed away, I think it was the 6th time from Joe. And, he did a Firehouse Subs review, and he was telling me about it because by that point they still hadn't come to Canada. But they came here, I think, in 2018, and they literally are the best subs on the planet. I've never had a better fucking sub sandwich than fucking from them. Incredible. The quality, the bread, the quantity, oh, so fucking good. And, I think it's really cool, too, that they help out with the community, with, what's it called, with firefighters and shit, and their charities and all that. So, yeah, I think that's a cool thing. And they've got, when I used to go, you'd fill out, you'd take the receipt, you'd go to the website, you'd fill out your experience and shit, and you get, like, a discount for the next time you went for a drink or something. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it's convenient, too, so. Chad says, we had a Mr. Sub in my hometown, but I don't think it was part of the chain. The logo was a character with a sub for a head. Yeah, that's the thing, though. It started as Mr. Submarine in Canada. And, yeah, I've noticed that there are certain American franchises that are called Mr. Sub. But, there's sort of like mom and pop shops. It's not like a chain like up here in Canada. So, yeah, I've noticed that there are American ones. But, yeah, they've got nothing to do with the Canadian ones. Costanza says everything at Subway is fake. They said. I believe it. Yeah, no, I was very, very pleased and surprised by the subs themselves. And it was just it's very, very good. Very good experience. But, yeah, I don't know what tonight will bring. My town is very limited with what I can get. And probably have to sign up for Uber Eats or DoorDash or some shit like that to get access to more restaurants. But I've looked at some of those delivery times, and it's just like, see, that's the thing. Would I love to be able to have a nice burger? Yeah, absolutely. But am I going to order a burger that's going to take 45 minutes to get here? So it's lukewarm. The fries are somewhat like wilted and the milkshake's sort of melted. It's just like, well, what's the point then? Like, yeah, it'd be great if fucking this stuff, like, it's great that you can get this stuff delivered, but if it doesn't arrive in a timely manner, then why waste your money? It's just it's shit food. So, a lot of people have the same sort of belief. It's like, if you can't make it at home, then why order it? Or if you could make it at home, why order it? Let's see here. Back to the chat. Bam says, I used to eat Subway subs a lot. They got so bad I went there and they didn't have bread. Wow. Eating a lot of bread. Reimer says, Bam, there was like 25 Subways in Ireland at one point. It's like 6 now. No one liked it. Well, they should have just renamed the rye bread to rye whiskey bread, and that might have encouraged the Irish to buy some more subs. But yeah, what do they go to? Do they go to the local McDonald's and get like stewed cabbage in Ireland for for McDonald's? That's another thing, is that ordering like McDonald's or something from fucking fast food. The stuff, like, if you can't consume that within 5 minutes, it tastes like crap. Like, the fries start to like wilt and dry out, and it's horrific. But I don't know. I could I could use some ideas, so I'd appreciate some suggestions there in the chat there, people. This ain't no fucking peep show. Oh, we can go back to listening to Joe rant. Let's listen to Joe rant while I maybe get some suggestions in the chat.
People have had to kiss
I lied about Jesse. You said Jesse left the show. Do you want me to read the tweet? Jesse left my show because I told lies about him. That's what you said.
I've got the
You
other
said I told lies about Jesse on my show.
I responded because I talked to Jesse.
Well, dude, but Dave, what if Jesse's saying that's not true? Then what the fuck?
No, well, Jesse responded to me afterward, basically saying, and I quote you on this, that he's
me.
We weren't trying to bully you. We were just trying to have a conversation.
Yeah, remember, guys, if a 30-year-old, like at this point, he's 30-something, early 30s maybe, but you're trying to bully me. 2 people that work with me, that are my co-hosts on the internet, are trying to bully me. That's just, it's sad. I think we're done, going through this review of old clips, because it's just so pathetic. Listening to a grown man actually say, "You're trying to bully me." It's so fucking pathetic. And we know that Joe really hasn't changed too much since then. And he would use the same sort of excuse and, I apologized and blah, 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 and this and that. And it's tiring to hear some people that I know are capable of more. I know that he doesn't have to be a fucking retard moron. But I don't know what it is. If it's his emotion, if it's his maturity, his emotional state. I don't know. I don't know why he has to act his way. But, I just thought it'd be interesting to raise that. After all, it did come up because of his continual anti-white rhetoric, which I will continue to call out until we can finally settle this in a nice debate. And I think that would be fair. And I think Joe should agree to that. Again, is he really concerned he's going to lose something? And if so, what is that? What is in it? What it's in it? Because, some things need to be discussed, and it truly is the courageous that are willing to confront topics that are difficult to discuss, as opposed to those that would rather just acquiesce to the mob and pretend as if they agree with their sentiments. And I don't necessarily believe that Joe fully swallows the blue pill. I think, again, it's partial, and that some of it is just for show. But unless we can talk to Joe, we'll never know. So be sure, if you ever get a chance to, ask him. Ask him why he won't. And, just remind him that it takes a courageous man to confront a difficult topic. And that you too wish that someday he would become that courageous man that he wants to be. Tiff says, California to award $1.5 million each to 10 residents in latest state vaccine incentive program. 30 people will also have the chance to win $50,000. Because that's what you need to, show people that a vaccine is perfectly safe. You need to bribe them with money. The product is so good that there needs to be constant propaganda on it. After all, why wouldn't you on a product that clearly works and has no side effects whatsoever? Yeah, that's concerning, to say the least, but not something that I'm going to really care about because I can't be bought in that manner. But hey, if having $1 million for, a few years before your body finally shuts down, dies, okay, enjoy. So the time is 5:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have been going for close to 2 hours. And since we don't be getting, as the kids say, we don't be getting the Skype calls, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I'll wait, so I like those even numbers, another 10 minutes. I would give it a nice even 2 hours. And then we'll call it quits, and I will prepare for 9 p.m. on the Foulmouth Network. I also messaged Ken so I could run a few things by him prior to the show, because we just have to work out a few final things. But yeah, should be fun. Should be a lot of fun tonight. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Friday nights is fun again. And yeah, I know that the audience is definitely down for it. The hosts are definitely down for it. And yeah, Mars was around earlier. I know he's going to be around for tonight. Nikki, I believe, as well. And obviously Ken and me. And the lovely Shannon as well. So it should be super duper. And yeah, I'm hoping to have some other shows soon. Potentially the GTA Online stuff, and maybe another was it Too Many Chefs? There's a few not stories, but a few topics that I want to cover, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to doing that. Costanza says, "What if Mello was on tonight?" Haha, just kidding, Dave. Well, no, he's not. He's not part of the Friday show. We actually have a talent on Friday. The B Stars. That's what's reserved for Saturday night. Yes, I love Mello, Bam. But I've exposed him, and it's funny though that that some people still don't seem to get it. But now that I've given sort of the equation as to what to look for when it comes to Mello and how he acts, if you go back to any video in the past and you just take a look at him, just focus on Mello, forget about everyone else. Just listen to the show, but focus on Mello and his facial reactions and what he does. And it's exactly as I laid out total attention whore, total disrespectful piece of shit, because he's not really listening so much as he's reacting. So, you know, it's just like, it's like a mime who's like got someone next to them reading a story, so they're just like constantly trying to act the part of what's being described, and like they get a prop and they're like, you know, smiling at the camera and shit. That's what Mello does. But if you take a look at it, you'll start to see that it's consistent and it's just incessant. It doesn't stop throughout the entire fucking videos and shit. And it's been happening for so fucking long, which I just thought funny that many people didn't notice it or didn't even call it out. No, Mello is not a good guy. And even Mello knows that. So shut up, Wire. Loyalty. See, now Wire's just trying to troll. Because he knows the score about Mello. He knows that loyalty doesn't produce a competent co-host. You know, and we have a clear example with Keith. So, no, I'm not going to order from Uber Eats Costanza, so no chance there. But yeah, I've exposed Mello. I could have done a lot more. I could have done a full drama diner on Mello, but I don't need to, because one little clip is the key to the doorway. You know, this, like, all you got to do is look for the exact same thing in previous videos. You're going to see it time and time and time again, undeniably. And it's just so fucking funny that, you know, that he does it so consistently, you know, and thinks that he can just get away with it. But, you know, it's funnier to expose him and let him, you know, sort of like scramble now that he's been exposed like a cockroach. And, you know, he'll have to be watching himself, you know, how he conducts himself. Because now that people see he's going to be doing that, probably won't be so Tommy-ish, you know, trying to ham it up for the camera and like, oh, look at me, I'm an attention whore. No, maybe you just want to play ball and stop being such a fucking pussy. But that's the way it is. Unfortunately, sometimes the truth must be forced upon those that wish to live a lie. And yes, it removes them from their comfort zone. It remains something that still must be done. After all, if we are all expected to live in this reality, that applies to everyone, and not just a select few. So, and I didn't mess with Mello last Saturday. It's funny though, the show started, and I was in the chat, and I saw people responding to Mello, as he always does. Hides me, you know, had me hidden. And, you know, people are like, oh, hey, Mello, hey, Mello. Because, you know, he's always like, hello, this person, hello, that person. I just do a generic, like, good afternoon, everyone, how's it going? Sometimes I'll shout individuals, but mostly it's like a generic. But, yeah, I see all these people responding to Mello, so he's obviously doing this. And I can confirm by just going to a browser that's not logged in. And then later on, he ends up unblocking me. Or because I noticed that, what I should say is prior to that, because I noticed people responding to him like, Mello still has me blocked. So, you know, then the show goes on, blah, blah, blah. And then he unhides himself from me. And then I see him in the chat and stuff. And I don't fucking bother him throughout the entire show. I don't fucking address him or even do anything. But that just goes to show the two different stances. You know, I'll call out shit, but I'm not going to go look for problems and stuff. And if he's in the chat, he's in the chat. But if he's going to be a pussy and block me, I'm going to call it out. So, you know, I thought that should be brought up due to the fact that it really just goes to show that I don't have an agenda, unlike what people try to say. But if confronted with a situation that needs to be called out, it's going to be called out. And it's just the way it is, baby. Now, on that note, I guess we're going to call it quits. No calls, which is fine. Hope you guys have a great weekend wherever you may be. Hope your Friday night is an enjoyable one. Be sure to tune in under, a little over 3 hours for Friday Night Fire, exclusively on the Foul Mouths Network. We're going to have a good old time. Fun time. And I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to Fridays again, because Friday nights is fun again. Now, on that note, and that's actually a great point, Bam, Friday Night Fire doesn't need Tommy. In fact, I will be so bold and presumptuous as to say Friday Night Fire is better without Tommy. So how about that? Cash me outside. And, this might even incur Tommy to try to call in 20 times. But no Tommy tonight. I have a headache. No Tommy tonight. All right, people. I hope you have a good one. I shall see you in just a few hours. I am Devious Dave Rose. Good night.